Mid-South Peace and Justice Center, and this is Blightwatch. We're at 687 Whittington in the Orange Mound neighborhood, a neighborhood with a lot of tradition, a neighborhood with a lot of pride, and sadly a neighborhood with a lot of vacant properties. Again, you'll see the familiar archway and white picket fence. That's become kind of a calling card for a lot of these properties in our neighborhoods. This property is listed on the county registry as being owned by a real estate investor who owned 80 or so odd properties here in Memphis and Shelby County. This woman no longer owns these properties. In fact, she declared bankruptcy back in 2007 and surrendered these properties to the lending institutions that she had outstanding debts with. This property is actually owned by America's Servicing Company, which is a fully owned subsidiary of Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo, who is responsible for so many subprime loans and foreclosures, particularly in the Orange Mound area and in the city of Memphis. As a result of them leaving this property under the name of a previous owner, they've skirted the responsibility of paying property taxes and paying for the maintenance of the yard. In fact, this grass was cut at the taxpayers' cost by the City of Memphis Department of Community Enhancement. Not counting fines and fees and health code violations, Wells Fargo owes $1,773.63 in back taxes here on this property. We are going to be working with the people of this neighborhood. They should not have to tolerate this and deal with this in their neighborhood, especially because of the actions of an irresponsible corporate citizen. Now, to just give you an example of, and a lot of people out there probably think that it's hard to keep up with some of these properties when you're not getting revenue in. Well, let me give you an example of the right way to do it. Here right next door is another vacant property. But as you can see, the owner of this property took responsible steps. One, the property is secured. The yard is kept in good condition. Cut every 2 weeks according to people in the neighborhood, and monitored and kept track of. And I don't think this is too much to ask for. Obviously, the person who owns this property took the means of being responsible enough to keep this from falling into ruin like the one next door to it. But if this property is going to be right next door to that, well then, what's the point? It cuts the legs right out from under them. Now, across the street here, we have 682 Whittington. 682 Whittington is a property that was formerly owned by another investor, but is now currently owned by Shelby County. It was seized for payment of back taxes and is set to go to auction. But in the meantime, the people of this neighborhood are living next to a ruin of trash dump, open door policy. The place pretty much needs to be condemned, and I've spoken to the neighbors on the other side of this property, and it's killing them. And he's made call after call after call to code enforcement, to community enhancement, to get something done out here, but nothing's been done. So this is a county-owned vacant. So I want to make you understand that means Shelby County, and by that I mean all of us, are legally liable for anything that happens on this property. So we need to get this taken care of, and soon we're going to be working with the people of this neighborhood to do it. But there you have it, 3 vacants on one street. One, the responsibility of the county not being lived up to. One, the responsibility of a local property owner being taken care of admirably. And the third, the responsibility of a bank woefully negligent and costing you money on both ends. This is Blightwatch.